So you want to use visual novels to learn Japanese? Well, today I'm going to teach you how to get that set up and why I think it's a good idea. And it even looks like this. I got Clanad over here. What is this magic? The text that's on here is also on here, and I can highlight it and I can look up all the words. What is this? Technology, wow. And it even tells me how comprehensible it is. I personally think, I've talked about this before, but I think learning Japanese through visual novels is a great idea. And the reason why it's a great idea, there's a couple of reasons why. Visual novels are really long and they're just packed full of text. There are so many visual novels. There's also multiple routes. You're gonna get a lot of the same words over and over and over again. And it's thanks to visual novels personally. I've used a lot of them to help me gather my kanji knowledge. I've learned so many words just by simply just going through visual novels. Even if I don't understand everything perfectly, like just going through them and like trying my best to understand them all. Not only have I found some really like great stories, because visual novels have some of the best stories you'll ever read, honestly. Most visual novels are gonna be fully voiced, like Clanad over here. I can also repeat the voices as many times as I want, and I can go at my own speed. I think it's actually absolutely perfect. And you know, being able to look up every single word is fantastic. Today I'm going to teach you how to set this up and how to do it. So there's going to be some paid ways that I recommend, but don't worry, there's a free way to do it too. I'm going to show you that too. So no matter which way you decide to go, you're going to be able to start reading some visual novels today and learn some Japanese. I think it's a great idea. So if you don't know what visual novels are, there's a ton of anime that, if you probably didn't know this, but they were first a visual novel. The big ones being Clannad, Steins Gate. Those are like actually my top favorite anime. So as a Japanese learner, it was always a goal for me to go through them. I've gone through a few routes of Clannad. I haven't finished the whole thing, but I don't know, just doing this doesn't feel like learning. It's fun because like the more that I read, the more that I know, and it's just really fun. And plus, like, it's a great story. The only thing I will say about visual novels is that not all of them, but a lot of them have a lot of, let's just say, not safe for work stuff in it. So if that's not your cup of tea, don't worry. There are alternatives. Like there's places where you can get them where they don't have that stuff. I mean, there's plenty of visual novels that don't have a lot of that stuff, but just know that a lot of them do, but you probably already know that. So if you are into that, then, you know, hey, you're going to have a lot more available to you. Don't worry. I'll talk about like ways to go, you know, get past that and just things that I recommend if that's not your cup of tea. But either way, let's get started. Step one, the first thing you want to do in order for this to work is you have to change your locale. If you don't know what that is, don't worry. I'm gonna walk you through this. So the first thing you're gonna do is open up your control panel and you're gonna go to change date and time or number formats. If you have a Mac, I'm sorry, I don't know how that works. I'm sure it's there somewhere. Just Google it. That's what I do. So you want to go to administrative and then you want to go to change system locale. And obviously I've already done that, but you'll want to go ahead and change that to Japan. It's been a while since I set this up, but if you don't do that, I think a lot of visual novels will not work. So yeah, just go ahead and do that anyway. It's a good idea to do that. And then you want to head over to your language settings. So in your settings, you want to go to language and region. And you want to scroll down. I changed my country region to Japan. I don't know if that locale thing does that. I don't even really know what it is. I just do it because you have to. Or at least a lot of like Japanese visual novels. And you want to go to add a language. And then so you're going to pick Japanese, obviously. It's just a good idea to do this anyway, because you're not going to be able to type in Japanese unless you install the Japanese, you know, keyboards and all of that. So yeah, install the Nihongo. You're going to need that. So the next thing you're going to want to go ahead and do is install Textractor. It's a program that allows you to extract all the text from visual novels, from most visual novels. Here's something you need to know. You're going to come across eventually, if you read a lot of visual novels, you're going to come across a visual novel that you just can't get the text from. Sometimes it's really hard and you're probably gonna have to do a lot of Googling. I know there's a lot of like learning curves when it comes to this stuff just to get stuff to work right. But Textractor is going to be the program that you will be using most of the time. There's other programs, I haven't tested them myself. I only use Textractor and it's free. You want to go to the GitHub page and download it. I believe, I always forget how to do this, but I'm pretty certain it's right here under releases. You just set it up, baby. I think the one I have installed is the English only, but I don't think it matters. I think you could set up either one of these. And just know that sometimes your antivirus will kind of go a little weird with Textractor because it's doing some processes that Windows might think is a virus. I am not a tech guy, but I've been using it for years and I think I've been fine. That's all I can really tell you. But sometimes my antivirus has like gone crazy and tried to delete stuff. So you just have to allow it. Disclaimer, I'm not, I'm not saying that everything's perfectly safe, even though I use it. I think it's fine. Everybody uses Textractor that does this anyway. So anyway, I think it's safe to say that it's probably not too bad, because if it is, I'm in trouble. Okay, the next step is you're gonna want to find a visual novel, right? This is you can't skip this part, all right? You got to find a visual novel you want to learn Japanese from, and a website that I highly encourage you to check out because this is very helpful for me. And that's this really amazing website called JPDB Beta. It stands for Japanese Database, I believe. What's really cool about this website is not only can you use this for flashcards if you choose to do. The only reason why I use it is for its difficulty list. So they have difficulty lists with anime, novels, visual novels, web novels, and then of course, live action as well. So they went through all the trouble to rank all of this stuff under difficulty. So we're gonna obviously click visual novels, and I gotta scroll past some of these pictures because, like I said, the ones that are too bad, they don't even show on here. But on the website, you can choose to rank it from the top most difficulty, like the most difficult visual novel according to them, or you can do it from the easiest one. So obviously you're gonna do it from the easiest one when you're trying to look. So the way that it ranks it is out of 100. I don't exactly know. I just know that they show the length of the words. So this is how many words are in this visual novel. This is how many unique words that I'm guessing get used at least one time, 3,000. So we have unique words and then unique words that are used once. So this is actually words that are only used one time. And so these are all the factors that determine if it's easier enough. So yeah, unique kanji. And yeah, so they've ranked this one a 3 out of 100. So what you want to do is search for a visual novel, and then you could even check out the VNDB, which is the visual novel database that tells you everything there is to know about it. And then they also have links to other places where you can buy the visual novel. Steam is a great place to do it as well. Like I said, there's a lot of like crazy stuff in visual novels. So if you don't want that, I probably suggest trying to go to Steam to buy it, because a lot of times that stuff will be taken out because Steam won't allow a lot of it. Not all the time, but if you want a safer version, check out Steam. But if you're curious to know what's in the visual novel, you can check that out at the VNDB. It tells you everything there is to know, so you can decide if it's good enough for you or whatever. But in my experience, I've gone through a lot of visual novels here, and it does a really good job of ranking things by difficulty. This one right here is a really easy one. There's just a lot of words about like cooking. It's basically about this grandson who's trying to revive a restaurant, and this is on Steam too. There's like 2 games in this one, and this one was super easy. This is actually this one right here. So yeah, there's other websites that you can look for if you just type in visual novel Japanese difficulty list. There's other people that have their own like little versions of this, but this list right here on JPDB is by far the biggest list of visual novels ranked, and I don't, it's just really convenient. So yeah, this is the one. So this one's actually ranked a 9 out of 100, and this is the first visual novel I went through. I talked about this already because other people on other websites were saying that this one, it's like watching paint dry, but it's just not that enjoyable, and it wasn't. That's why it's only ranked a 5 out of 10. That's another good thing about VNDB. Try to look for at least a 7. A 6 at least, but yeah, this one is pretty bad. I didn't care what was in the story because I just wanted to learn words, and so that was what's fun for me. It was like actually just educational. But yeah, you don't have to go to the most easiest ones. If it looks boring to you, then I would try to go for something that's just looks interesting, even if it is a little bit harder. If you have a good base already, maybe you've done some Anki cards to get the basic words. When it comes to finding visual novels, you want to make sure that it has Japanese language, because so a lot of American platforms like Steam, a lot of times they won't even have the Japanese language on there. So take Clanad, for instance. You want to scroll down to the languages, and they'll tell you if it has interface, full audio, and subtitles, and it only has audio. So I know that's very confusing. I actually had to install a mod for this one. For some reason, they don't have Japanese Clanad. But there is a mod and a workaround that you can do. So sometimes you're gonna have to do that, but Clanad is one of the select few where you actually have to do something like that. So if you're just personally wondering how to read Clanad in Japanese from Steam, there is a mod for it, and there's guides for that. But that's what I had to do. Just always check if there is Japanese subtitles, and Steam's really good about including that. So as you can see here, Steins Gate has all the things that you need. So just check that out. I personally buy all of my stuff like with my own money. So if there's any other way, don't ask me about it, because I don't know. I know it exists, but I don't know about it. I'm not encouraging it. I am actually terrified. I do buy everything. I just buy everything. That's the way I go about it. But most of the stuff you can find, so yeah. Okay, so now you got your visual novel, right? All right, you want to learn Japanese from it. It's time to open it up. And for demonstration purposes, I'm going to use Clanad because I love Clanad, man. I remember when Clanad was like way too hard. It's still fairly hard on a lot of places. It's just really cool being able to come to this and I understand like so much more than I did before. And that's because I just read and read over and over again, going through the things you don't know, just clicking the next line, trying to understand each line and just going through the next one. And then like, it's crazy because like by the time I'm done with the story with the visual novel, I'm like, oh, I know what happened. Like I know exactly what happened, you know? It makes you feel like you're doing something in Japanese rather than going through something that's really boring. But yeah, when it comes to reading, you want to get a good base, I would say. So you'd want to go with some really easy stuff. Yeah, so next you want to install a Textractor. So when you do download Textractor, yes, I was right. This is the English version only, but it still works just fine. You want to have something called either 7-zip, which I think is like already installed onto your computer, and you want to go ahead and extract it. Sometimes you need to download 7-zip. I can't remember. If you're not able to right click this and extract it all, then you're going to need to download something called 7-zip, which is another free program. But yeah, you're just going to extract it. Open it up, pick which version for your computer is. I've used both. To be honest, I don't know how this works very well, but you want to go to the application and you want to open it up. Okay, so this is what it looks like. So once it's open, you want to go to attach to game. Now, sometimes it's gonna say the name of the game, but for things like Clanad, a lot of the times it'll just be called Sigless Engine. So sometimes you gotta look around. And if you can't find the game, then try a different version of Textractor, possibly. But most of the time, you're gonna be able to find it here. If you can't find it, and you just tried everything to try to see if you can find the program, then that probably means that Textractor can't find it. You can't get the text out of it. And in that case, you'll have to use like a different program that maybe I don't know about. But most of the time, you're gonna be able to find it. So go to OK. And if it worked, you're gonna see a lot of this stuff loading. Once you do that, you wanna at least like click around a little bit, and then you're gonna have a bunch of these things. And so you just wanna scroll down until you start seeing Japanese, and you just wanna make sure that it matches up to what is actually being said. That looks pretty right to me. So that's what you wanna find. You're gonna have this problem sometimes where you'll attach it to a visual novel and you're gonna see some of the text, but you're not gonna be able to see all of it. What I do in that case is that you want to go to search for hooks. Yeah, you go to search for hooks and click this, search for Chinese, Japanese, Korean, and you can just do a hook search. And I'm not gonna do that because it takes a while, but it's gonna see if it can find any text for you automatically. But another thing that really helps is that you want to go to search for specific text. So in this case, this is why you wanted to have those keyboards installed. So what you want to do is type in what you see. Yeah, something like that. That would probably work. And then you would want to go to OK, and it's going to try to search for that line. And sometimes that'll fix your issue. I would say a lot of times that fixes your issue. So you're going to get a ton of these things and you have to like look through them. You want to click through the game and you want to try to find the text that matches up. So luckily Clanad in general there's a little workaround you have to do, but most games it's going to be really easy. Most of the time you're just going to be able to launch the game and you could be able to just click through things and then you're going to see it. So what Textractor also does that's cool, so it copies everything that you're going to see in the game to your clipboard automatically, but also with Textractor, you can just highlight all of the text and you can just copy and paste it. You can paste it to Google or, you know, any dictionary that you want. But if you have something like Migaku, which I have right here conveniently, it has a clipboard function to where I can see all the text right here. So keep in mind that Textractor is the reason why all the text from the visual novel is being copied to the clipboard. What Migaku does is monitors the clipboard. And so it allows me to scan everything that we see here. So it's pretty dang convenient. Now I have a link with Migaku, okay? So if you want to get a nice 10% off of the lifetime plan, I also have a whole video on Migaku. You can check it out. Also, you get a month free if you choose to sign up to any of the standard plans. But I like Migaku, and the reason why I like Migaku is because it makes things like this really simple. But this is just one of the ways that you can do this. I'm also gonna teach you a free way to do it, so you're not gonna need to pay anything. You can do this for absolutely completely free. If you're interested in Migaku, check it out. Use my link. I would appreciate it a lot. It's really, really great for this kind of stuff because like immediately right here, it shows me the words that I don't know. It also gives me recommended sentences as well, which is very, very helpful. But don't worry, if you don't want to do that, you don't have to do that. So to do this basically for free, now what you want to go do is you want to go and download something called Yomitan, which is a plugin that's pretty much for everything. Edge, Firefox, Chrome, and you want to go ahead and download that. And what Yomitan is going to be able to do is allow you to copy any kind of like Japanese text. In fact, I think everyone should have Yomitan. If you're learning Japanese, you should just have Yomitan installed anyway, because you can just look up any freaking word. You can install as many dictionaries as you want. Yomitan is one of the best tools when it comes to learning Japanese, and I've used it for years. There used to be a program called Yomi-chan that got discontinued, and then someone came and made something called Yomi-tan, which basically was a continuation of Yomi-chan. The old schoolers use Yomi-chan, but yeah, eventually I had to switch to Yomi-tan. All right, once you install that, you can edit all your settings right here. It's just gonna pop up, and you wanna make sure that it's on. This is where you can configure all of your dictionaries, and you can even connect it to Anki if you'd like. So the next thing you wanna do is install another add-on called Clipboard Inserter. Well, there's actually a few of them. The one that I have installed in Firefox that I'm using right now is Lab Clipboard Inserter. I just installed this one because it has the most users and the most reviews, so I just thought it would be good. There's multiples of these, and there used to be a clipboard inserter on Chrome as well, but last time I looked for it, I couldn't find it, but I know that there's probably other ones that you can install. Just try to find one that looks decently reliable with good reviews. There's multiples of these. And again, this does the same thing that Migaku does, but it just, you know, it's just some extra steps. That's all it really is. So this is the one that I have installed. Just try to find one on Chrome that's like just as good, but this I use Firefox, so yeah. I don't use Edge or any other browser, so just try to find something that does the same thing. That's all I can really tell you. Now I gotta give a shout out to Mobile Mally. He's freaking awesome, but the reason why I'm giving a shout out to him is because this next part is something that I found from his channel. He has a great video on how to grab Japanese text from manga and video games. I'll link it down below as well. But in his video, there's the clipboard inserter thing. It's this code, so you're gonna need this. Again, I know this sounds confusing, but it's not hard at all. So all you're gonna do, I just wanted to give credit where credit was due. So you're gonna highlight this, and you're going to copy this, open up your notepad, paste that text, and then you're gonna save as, and we're gonna name it clipboard monitor h.html. Now it's important that you don't forget that to make this an HTML, so .html. So do not name it .text. Just make sure it's named this and it'll be good. So you're gonna go ahead and save that, and then go to the folder you save that. All right, then just go ahead and open it up. So now you got a blank page. I know it's a lot of steps, okay? Just bear with me. So make sure that extension, a clipboard inserter, is on, and voila, look at that. Here, don't, this is the code that I just pasted. Don't look at this. Look at, voila. Now you finally have your Japanese text from your visual novel. So again, you have to have text extractor because that pulls the text from the visual novel. But then you have to do all those other steps in order to do this. And so now I have Yomi-tan, right? And so now I can just highlight all the words. It's great. And so another thing you can do if you're an Anki user. All right, so go ahead and open up your Anki, and you do have to configure this in Yomi-tan as well. But it's very, very easy. You just go down right to the Anki and of the settings, and it tells you exactly how to do it. Just go to info, look at the details, make sure that's on. So now what you can do with Yomi-tan installed is that I could choose a word, right? And then now I go to the plus, and bam, I just created an Anki card. Look at it, there it is right there. If you want to go ahead and add pictures and stuff, that you can just go ahead and edit the card and literally just like take a screenshot of the visual novel like that. And this is just using the screenshot that's already like a part of Windows. It's Windows Shift S, and then you can just paste it wherever you want. So you can set up your cards, and you can do all of that in Yomi-tan. It's really great. So you can have cards, you can have the definitions on the back, however you want it. This is just for demonstration purposes since I don't use Anki. I have used Anki in the past, and it's great. It's great if you love flashcards. And again, it's free. So bam, you just found a way to have flashcards to not, forget anything. So, and another thing, if you want sound for your flashcards, for your Anki cards, you can download this thing called ShareX. And ShareX is really good because it's a way to take screenshots and also to record sound at the click of a button. It allows you to copy and paste those pictures and sounds very easily. I don't have that installed right now, but I used to use that as well. So again, you'd want to play the voice. This is not a good example because this doesn't have voice, but you'd want to just play the voice line, record it with ShareX, and then you'd be able to copy and paste that wherever you want into Anki. And so that sound file would be on your flashcards. So that's just a great way to have tons of context, and it's perfect. Now, if you want to go in and skip all those steps, then you could just install Migaku. See, this is why I actually really love Migaku, because they already have this done for you, right? The only thing you're gonna need if you have Migaku is Textractor. You don't have to do any of those other extra steps. And then Migaku takes the extra step and actually shows you like what words you know and don't know. If you're doing this for a while, you're gonna have a collection. And you could do the same thing. If I want to make a if I want to make a flashcard out of this, I just click this and I just made a flashcard out of it. So when it comes to visual novels though, Migaku doesn't like record the sound for that stuff. I don't think there's probably a way to set that up, but I don't know how to do it. So you just want to take a screenshot of this, put it in your card, and then you also want to record the sound of the voice as well. But if you were to use this with YouTube, then Migaku would automatically take a like sound bite of the word you're learning off of the YouTube video, and then it would have like the picture and everything automatically. And you could do the same for like anime and stuff too. But for visual novels, you're still gonna probably have to take screenshots of the picture. But with things like ShareX, it's very easy. Just literally you could set it up to like 2 buttons and then bam, you can do it super fast. But again, this does simplify a lot of the process. And if you're a person like me who doesn't even use flashcards, it's just nice to be able to read everything, right? And just immediately click it, know the meaning of it. You could even have it read it as well. So in visual novels, the main character is usually not going to be voiced. Sometimes they are, and those are like really nice. And so you can have this like, pretty good voice, if you want to have some voice. But Yomitan also has like voice as well when you highlight a word. So that's something that I have enabled when I use Yomitan. Now in my Migaku video, I talked about all of this and I really enjoyed it. But what I personally do as well, which is another option. So if you're a Link user, which I use Link, what I do with Link is I literally will play the entire visual novel. Like I'll just have an auto clicker, or I'll just set it to auto, because you can always set visual novels to automatically play. And so I'll get all of the text through Textractor, and I will just import it to Link. I'll just bam, copy and paste it right there. I'll make a nice little picture for it, name it and everything, create its own little course. And so what's cool with Link is that I will now know, based off all of the words that I already know on Link, I will know how many of those words are new to me. So it's another way for me to get all the text and just know that, okay, I'm gonna know most of these words in this visual novel. And again, this is what that JPDB website does already. This is just another way to like really see how it applies to you. So that's the reason why I like these websites. They're not free, they do cost money. You can use my link down below if you want, but hey, no pressure. I showed you a free way that you can do the exact same thing. At the end of the day, what you need to remember is that these are tools that are gonna help you keep track of all the words that you know, but you can do it completely free. It's just a little more of a hassle, but I always wanna include a free way if there is one, because I've used it all. Oh my God, what did I copy? Holy crap. Yeah, sometimes you're gonna get weird stuff like this, like, I don't know. Sometimes when you open settings on visual novels, you're gonna get, it's gonna do weird crap like this. So, it's not always gonna be perfect, but, as long as you can get most of it. So yeah, visual novels are fantastic. Now I have all the sounds. I can replay it as much as I want. Yeah, so yeah, most visual novels will have like a... Yeah, so this has the native audio and pronunciation. And the more that you just like read through visual novels and look it up, and I highly encourage, if you're gonna do this, try to stick with visual novels and anime. This goes for anime and manga as well. As a beginner, you want to stick with slice of life stuff. So slice of life is everyday life. A lot of school stuff, you'll notice, has very easy words that are everyday words you're going to see all the time that are really great. So like a lot of the words that I've learned in visual novels is perfect for anime and manga. So it's all really great. So try to stick with slice of life school stuff if that's your thing. But at the end of the day, try to do what you enjoy. But for me, like, I guess I'm crazy and I'm willing to sit through slop in order to like just learn new words. I don't know. I guess I'm just built different. I don't know. But for me, just getting to the point where I can read Clanad and like kind of know what's going on and just have fun with that, it's an amazing story. So really, I go through the slop in order to get to the good stuff because I just want to learn. For me, learning new words is fun. So that's why I can just have a story that I don't care about. As long as I'm learning, I don't care what's in the story. And that's my philosophy when it comes to visual novels. But when you get to the good ones, I've literally cried. I've cried reading visual novels. And I don't understand all the Japanese, but I understood it enough to freaking bawl like a baby. And for me, those are the most rewarding things when it comes to learning through visual novels. Just such good stories. A lot of sus ones, but a lot of good ones too. And even though mostly in visual novels, they're like static images, right? Of like PNGs, you do get a lot of context at times. So it's a lot better than just reading a book to where there's like no pictures and it's just, first of all, if you're reading a paper book, that would be hard because you don't have a dictionary. I think visual novels are great. A lot of times there's like images, CGs, and so you have a lot of context. Like you could see they're in a classroom. We're talking about cafeterias. They'll go to the cafeteria. They'll show pictures. And so it's a lot more. With the voice and everything, I feel like it's a lot more comprehensive. And then with tools like Migaku and Link, I can see exactly how comprehensible it is, to me. Obviously, if I don't want to go for a visual novel that's like, I know nothing, trust me, there's very confusing visual novels. Like my goal is to read Steins Gate. I could just pick it up and read it now and not understand a lot, but I'm trying to build up to it. My goal is to read Steins Gate. They're very long. There's multiple routes you can go over and over again. So you're going to get so much repetition. And I swear to you, by the end of like reading your first couple of them, you're going to be surprised on how many new words you read. But it's not for everyone. You need a good base of words. I mean, you could just jump into it and just brute force your way through it, but I highly suggest like going to like some graded readers or like maybe installing some decks on Anki. They have like the most common words. So that's like highly recommended in order to build up your vocabulary a bit. So when you do jump into something like a visual novel that's going to use native Japanese, well, it's going to be anime Japanese kind of, but a lot of native Japanese that you could use. It'll be easier if you have a nice little base of words, which I did. So that's what I did. It was still very hard though. And the more that I did it, the more that I started to, be able to read kanji and understand things. Like I still don't understand everything that I read. I've come so far. I've come so far. And this is just, for me, super, super fun to do. I owe visual novels so much because, well, I've always just been into them personally. There's so many amazing stories in visual novels, but I found that it's a great way to learn Japanese. And I think it's just so fun. And I highly recommend to try it out if that's your thing. And I hope this helped you. Hopefully you'll get to, installing some visual novels, playing yourself, and learning some Japanese and having fun in the process. Because remember, at the end of the day, whatever you do needs to be fun for you, even if it's like reading through slop to learn Japanese. That's fun for me, but it's not exactly the most beginner friendly thing, but freaking who cares, right? Like when I read my first visual novel, which was terrible, it was just a lot of fun for me to like realize I came out the end of it and I was like, oh my God, I've learned so many words and I didn't even realize I was learning it just by looking things up over and over again. It actually worked. And so it was fantastic. So I hope this video helps. I know it's kind of long, but I was being very thorough. So yeah, check out the links. You can check out Migaku use my link. It helps out the channel if you do use them, but we're not sponsored. They're not paying me to make this video. And then also you got the free ways. So yeah, check it out if you are interested. Thanks for watching. Bye guys.